Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to At America. For those of you who are new here, At America is the U.S. Embassy's American Center located here in Jakarta, Indonesia. And hello, everyone. My name is Naura Fakira, and I'll be your MC for today's event. Today, cities around the world are facing new challenges brought by the climate change, rapid urbanization, and also increasing demands on urban infrastructure. As a result, building cities that are not only modern but also resilient has become more important than ever. In this afternoon, we will be exploring how water smart design, sustainable development, and innovative urban planning can help create cities that are better prepared for the future. Joining us today are leading experts from Indonesia and also the United States who will share innovative ideas, real world experiences, and practical approaches to building smarter, more sustainable, and resilient cities for generations to come. And that's why our event today is titled Water Resilient Future City. Can we give a big round of applause? And everyone, to officially open today's event, it is my pleasure to invite the Deputy Economic Counselor and Environment, Science and Technology Unit Chief of the U.S. Embassy's Jakarta to deliver her opening remarks on the stage. Please join me in welcoming Ibu Brain Watts.
Selamat sore semuanya. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you for At America for organizing this event. Thank you. I'm going to move this down a little bit because I'm very short. Thank you to Council on Vertical Urbanism for helping put this together, particularly I don't know where he went, the light's in my face, but thank you to Pak Tio and his team, everybody at CVU's Indonesia chapter, at Jakarta Investment Center, and Astra Property for helping bring this together today. I think as you can see on our logo, this is our 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States this year. And next year, there's an important milestone here in Jakarta, of course, the 500th anniversary of Jakarta. And throughout the history of both of our cities, they've been shaped really by urbanization and the changing structures of cities. And I think now is a good time for all of us to ask, what kind of cities and what kind of futures do we want to invest in going forward? You know, I grew up in Tucson, Arizona, which is a small desert town in southwestern US. And there, water is really a critical part of our daily life. We think about drought. We think about long-term water availability. We think about water sanitation and use. And then every year, about this time of year, we get into monsoon season, which is sort of the opposite problem, where we have very sudden, intense storms that result in flooding of the streets after just minutes of rain because the land just can't handle absorption of that amount of water. And I know everybody here in Jakarta understands the threat that comes from that types of storms and flooding. And so within Tucson, even though it's like very different on the surface from Jakarta in so many ways, I think a lot of the base elements that we both deal with are quite similar in how we're dealing with water and its use and infrastructure implications within both of our cities. And I think we both have to deal with how a city can thoughtfully choose either how to work with water and harness it as a resource or to ignore it or work against it. So I think these shared challenges are part of the reason it's so important to have these types of discussions and why it's important for us to share our combined knowledge on these types of issues. And that brings me to just a broader point. When we do talk about issues of water scarcity, water use, these aren't just, niche environmental issues. These are issues that really affect our national security and our economic prosperity going forward. And so they really are things that impact everybody's daily life. I think, when it comes to issues of water, they're so important because if there are critical infrastructure failures, where there's drought, where there are issues with sanitation or improper sanitation, these can really have dramatic effects on communities and economies globally. And I think that's why it's so important to involve companies, involve organizations, involve academics within these discussions so that we can all share our expertise. And on the US side, American innovation, American private sector expertise are helping to address these types of challenges around the world, both developing technologies, developing design approaches to help create safer and more resilient cities. And also to create, market opportunities, commercial opportunities to help all of us prosper. So today's panel is going to help address some of these issues, looking at water-sensitive design and how we really can treat water as a resource to be captured, integrated, and used for our shared good. In one example, in my hometown, I mentioned this is the middle of the desert, and so having water is so important. And so there's an initiative right now to capture to use green stormwater infrastructure to capture that stormwater and use it for irrigation so that it can be used to enhance things like tree cover, shade. It can also be redirected to create little micro environments for native plants, native species, and also to help reduce the amount of groundwater that we use. So these types of techniques and innovations are things that we can share globally around the world. In places like Jakarta, things like this, very small and dispersed projects and slight adjustments to infrastructure can really have a big impact on the resilience of the city. And so by integrating these types of things, right? So integrating how we address infrastructure, how we address design, some engineering challenges, we can really help combine what makes a city resilient and what makes a city livable. And that really improves the quality of all of our lives. And it creates, again, commercial opportunities for all of us as well. So I know there's a bunch of students here today. Really, the students, young professionals, you are the ones who are going to be responsible for bringing these innovations into the future. You're the ones who are going to be the next generation of engineers, of architects, of urban designers going forward to really shape how, Jakarta and cities around the world are designed and make the best use of our resources for us for generations to come. So I really hope today's conversation can be a starting point in that discussion to talk about how we can collaborate and how professional exchanges and even study in the United States can help address these issues going forward. I know I'd be remiss if I didn't address, or talk about the fact that in the US, we have top-tier universities that are working on some of these design issues, and perhaps Professor Peng, who's on our panel later, can talk about these as well, being a professor himself in the US. Before I close, I do want to thank him and all of the panelists that are here today for sharing their expertise. I want to thank all of you in the audience for being here today. And again, thank America for really putting the series together. If you haven't been here before, America really does act as a bridge between students and young professionals and bringing them different examples of American expertise, American life, exposing them to different academic partnerships and exchange opportunities. So really encourage you to come to future events here if you haven't in the past. And also during the panel discussion, our experts want to hear from you as much as you want to hear from them. So please don't be shy in the Q&A portion, asking your questions, making your comments. And I really hope that through this discussion, you can all leave here thinking differently about water use, and how it can really impact your daily life. So thank you, everyone, and I will turn it over. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ibu Brian, for the wonderful remarks. Can we give another big round of applause once again to Ibu Brian? Yes. And to continue our opening session, I would like to invite the chairman of the VU Indonesia chapter and managing director of PDW Architects to deliver his opening remarks on the stage. Please give a warm welcome for Pak Tio.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Well, welcome at America. Terima kasih Bu Brian for having us here and your wonderful team that's been preparing this wonderful place for us to gather. As you can see, people are still flocking in, and we are hoping that this discussion will be a very fruitful one. On behalf of CVU Indonesia, we are a very young chapter, although we've been involved in the CVU, or it used to be called CTBUH for over 15 years. With me now, today, we have the founder of CVU Indonesia, Ibu Doti, which is in the audience. You can meet her later. Pak Timothy, Bu Pino may not be here or here, and Erlangga. Five of us get together and form CVU in Indonesia a couple years ago. Well, America, actually, CVU is based in Chicago from IIT. It was founded in 1969 by structural engineer. But now more and more architects are involved. Like you may know, maybe like 80% of this room is architects. We like to talk, we like to show ourselves. But what is most interesting about CVU that we got to meet a developer like Michael and Frans will talk later, although their background is also architects. We got to meet engineers, we learn from them, even profession that we didn't know exists, like elevators, consultant, things like that. That is enriching our knowledge in built environment because everybody, not only architects, not only urban designer, we are maybe the leading or the ideation. We imagine the city, how the city would like, how the building should be, but it's a team effort, a collaborative effort that we can learn a lot from CVU. I will end this by mentioning that this is one of the 3 programs for this year. Also, happy anniversary US. This is still July, still relevant. And next year is 500 years of Jakarta. And we will kickstart the Jakarta 500 years anniversary with CVU Asia Conference. This is not the first, but the second international conference from CVU in Indonesia. It was held here in 1974. I was born then, but cannot attend because I'm still very little. But it's been here about 50 years ago, and now it's long overdue that we have international conference in Indonesia. And I would also like to welcome Dr. Peng, who is also director of Asia region of CVU. He's been helping us a lot with the event. There will be, he will, I think, present that, but we will have a lot of exciting speakers in December. Not only architects, but also expert in other field. Again, I would like to thank you at America. This is one of the 3 program this year with CVU, and more to come next year. Thank you, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yes, thank you so much, Patio, for such an inspiring remark. Can we give another big round of applause? Thank you very much. And now to lead today's discussion, please join me in welcoming our moderator. He is the Director of Operation of Aboday Designer. Please welcome to the stage, Kak Agie Aditama.
Thank you, Naura, for calling me Kak. Kelihatan muda. Hello, good afternoon all. My name is Agie Aditama, and I will be your moderator for today's session. So many people here. I hope I'm not groggy. But okay, so I would like to welcome you to at America, and I would like to welcome all of the professional students, design enthusiasts, and also urban visionaries joining us today. Because today we will have a very specific topic, a water resilient future city, where we believe that water will be an active partner to building and shaping our high-performance public realms. And thank you, CVU Jakarta chapter, Pak Tio, Bu Doti, for inviting me here. It's an honor for me. And also thank you for the collaboration with US Embassy. I hope together we can explore our future built, uh, urban built environment better and better. Of course, in Jakarta city, because we know in Jakarta, right now water is not just merely something to be managed, but for decades, urban engineering thinks that water should be contained, should be piped, should be diverted, should be defended against. But now we will discuss about a fundamental paradigm shift. We will see water as an active partner to reshaping, to transform our future in the city. And I believe that with the thoughtful design, it will build our ecological resilience, it will enhances our biodiversity, and also the most exciting part, it will bring dynamic and also vibrant public realms, something that will improve our human well-being, and also something to improve our social interaction, social collaboration, and social connection between us humans. And so to guide us through this discussion, we have an incredible panel of experts that will joining us today. And oh yeah, before we dive into the keynote presentation, I want you to prepare your question, because in the end of the sharing session, we will have an interactive question and answer session. And please, we encourage all of you to share your insights. We will exchange our knowledge, we will exchange our insights, and I think you can ask the four panelists that will bring some incredible presentation for us today. And to open it, I will introduce one by one, all of them. So the first one is the CVU, previously known as CTBUH, right? CVU is easier to pronounce, Pak. It's a good choice to rebranding the CTBUH. So CVU, he is the CVU Asia Regional Director and an assistant professor at Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia. He directs the Master of Urban Design and also Urban Analytics programs with extensive leadership roles across the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat. Right now we call it CVU. He bridges top-tier American urban innovation with global application. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Peng. Please. Yeah? Maybe I will introduce one by one, but you can have your seat right there, because I want all of us can see our incredible panel of experts. The first is you, and the second is I would like to invite to join with us. He bridges urban resilience with government strategy and also global capital. He is the head of investment promotion unit at the Jakarta Investment Center, GIC, at DPMPTSP Provinsi DKI Jakarta. He oversees key initiatives in investment attraction, market insights, and cross-sector partnership that support Jakarta's growth as a resilient, high-performance global city. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will welcome you, Pak Imam Satria. Please join me on stage, Pak Imam Satria. Please have your seat next to Pak Peng. And then the third speaker is, okay, so he brings the crucial, very, very crucial, okay, he will bring the very crucial perspective from private sector property development and also operational sustainability. He is the director at Astra Property. He oversees integrated property management frameworks across major developments in Indonesia. He is widely recognized for aligning complex building operations with energy efficiency and also cutting-edge technology to build high-performance urban assets. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome Pak Frans Surjadi. Please join me on stage, Pak Frans. Okay. And then for the last speaker, he bridges global design strategy with transformative Indonesian urban development. He is the design advisor at Putra, Gaya, Wahana. With a career spanning key global hubs, including Tokyo and Singapore, he brings deep expertise in computational design strategy and also mixed-use environments. At Putra Gaya Wahana, he oversees the multidisciplinary delivery of signature projects, including the landmark tower of Thamrin 9 complex. I think it's the highest in Southern Hemisphere, right? Okay, and he creating vibrant, high-performance built environment there. We will hear the presentation from him. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome Mr. Michael Wiener to on stage right now to joining with us. Okay, and here are 4 of our panelists. So without further ado, I would like to, yeah, okay. Okay, so you have your microphone already on you, right? Okay, so I would like to Mr. Peng to share your presentation and oh yeah, okay, the remote is on me. So for the first session, I would like to Mr. Peng to share your presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Please a round of applause for Professor Peng. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the kind introduction. It's a great honor to be here. Thank you, at America and the Indonesia chapter of CVU, and thank you everyone for attending this event. So I know everybody has a very short time to present, so I'll be quick. So rising city, rising seas, assessing sea level rise risks to Jakarta's tall buildings. So we all know Jakarta is now the world's most populous city in the world, more than 42 million residents. So it's a huge growth of population. The cities are rising. Cities are rising not just in terms of the population, but also in terms of the number of tall buildings. This is the data we produced by CVU annually. As you can see, 200 meters or above buildings. In the past 10 years, it has grown by 82%. So the city, Jakarta, certainly is growing vertically to accommodate the increasing population, as mentioned. But if we put Jakarta on the map of the globe, Jakarta actually ranked the 12th in terms of number of tall buildings in the world. But most of the cities in front of Jakarta are based in China. See, if you take out cities in China, Jakarta is only behind Dubai, New York, KL, and Mumbai. So it's a huge city in terms of the competition of tall buildings. So the cities are rising, but also the sea are rising as well. So we also did a study on the implication of sea level rise on tall buildings. So as we can see here, so more than half of tall buildings in Jakarta actually are below 10 meters elevation, which is considered as a risk. But if you consider other cities globally, and also the Southeast Asia, the green means the buildings are above 10 meters threshold. So certainly Jakarta is at higher risk. But if you zoom in the data, the 2.2 meters threshold is considered as the highest risk. If we consider 2.2 meters, so currently, 1 out of 8 tall buildings in Jakarta are above this 2.2 meters threshold. But the cities are continually sinking, and the sea level rise has continued as well. So by 2050, 1 in 4 tall buildings in Jakarta will be below 2.2 meters, again, representing the highest risk. And half of those buildings are completely below sea level. And this chart also represents the cities, the tall buildings in the cities are getting below and lower and lower. You can see this is the completely below the sea level and also below 2.2 meters. So we can see the trends towards 2050. And this is also an interesting chart. You can see 2025, Jakarta is considered as a world's largest city in terms of the population. And around 2046, the population will surpass 50 million, right? So the cities are rising and growing massively. But in the meantime, the cities has been sinking massively as well. So in 2049, it's projected 1 out of 8 tall buildings will be below sea level. So this is a huge risk in front of us. So what we can do? But in the meantime, Jakarta, we have seen Jakarta has a tall building boom, as shown in the data. But the residential build-up has not kept pace with population growth. Let's see these residential areas, square meters per person. This number actually has been declining among the time. So the residence areas per capita has fallen 37%. So in the meantime, the cities are growing, expanding. The tall buildings are growing, but the average size of our units, of our residential areas is getting smaller and smaller. So there's huge needs of residential towers in the future in Jakarta. So it is not a threat on Jakarta only, it also is a global threat. If you can see this, CVO in 2022, we still know as CDPUs in 2022. So we did a research, right? We analyzed more than 3 million people, more than 1,000 of which were 150 meters or greater in height. And look at this number, more than 12% are at or below 2.2 meter threshold. So it is high risk, not just applied locally and also globally. This is a photo I took in Manila earlier this year. You can see the whole downtown areas is almost on the same level of the river, of the sea. So what we should do? Are we going to abandon those skyscrapers and move to other places? Or are we going to build a bigger wall to defend the water? So this is the photo I took last month in Seoul, South Korea. You can see how the people can be part of the water of people's daily life. So it's what I called the theme of today's event is water resilient future city. I would think the future city should be an adaptable city. So we need to, in my view, embrace water, not escape from the water. How the water can be part of our daily life, can be part of the energy generation, can be part of our resource. So as introduced, I'm also a department chair of our Department of Sustainable Environments. We welcome you all. Check our website of Thomas Jefferson University to be considered apply for our program. So I taught design studios all the time. This is one of the projects I taught in the last couple of years. So we also did the research on the sea level rise in Philadelphia. Again, it's a global threat, not just a local threat, right? So we did this study on the water level rise at different times, at different levels. So the students designed this water a canal, right? So because of the water will rise at different levels, you can always adapt the city with the level of the water. So you can always the water be part of the landscape of the city, also be part of the urban life of the city. Okay, I will stop here and thank you again for attending this event. I will pass along to the next panelist.
Thank you, Professor Peng Du. Please have your seat. Everybody, a round of applause for Professor Peng Du. Okay. So one of your images is the Cheonggyecheon River at Seoul. Is it right, Professor Peng Du? That's a very popular references if we talk about how we build water infrastructure, right? Do you think it possible to build it in Jakarta? Is it? Yeah. Is it? If it's possible, let's ask the second presenter because he is the part of the government that will give our governmental policy. So I would like to welcome you, Pak Imam Satria, to share your presentation. Pak, a round of applause for Pak Imam Satria. Please, Pak.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here at America for the road to CVU Asia Conference, Jakarta 2026. I'm Imam Satria from Jakarta Investment Center, Department of investment and one-stop services from Jakarta Provincial Government. Today, I would like to invite all of us to see water in a different way, just like our previous speaker, not just as infrastructure, but as urban asset that can create value for our cities. I think we have a trouble. Okay. Next. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's building on our discussion today on hydro-urbanism. I would like to invite you all to burn our perspective first, that water is more than an environmental asset. It also creates social, economic, and cultural value that contributes to quality and attractiveness for our city. As Jakarta approaches the 500th anniversary in the 2026 next year, we're using this milestone not only to celebrate our history, but also shape our future. The target is to become the number 20 global city, and we have the most focus on the urban and hydro-urbanism is on environmental and sustainability key transformation pillar that paths toward our goal for the top 20 global city in 2045. The most focus on environmental and sustainability is green spaces, which cover water management, waste management, sustainable operation, and disaster resilience. In 2025, the Jakarta Provincial Government has built 21 new public parks in Jakarta as part of our Clean and Brew investment projects that prove that our local government is very concerned as water as an asset of our city. There are also, we have curated a number of investment projects that put water on our priorities. There are several projects that we offer in Jakarta from our regional owned enterprise. This one, for example, is from Transit Park Prapanca, which creates attractive, inclusive nature. We also curated the financial metrics from these projects, which collaborate or put the water also like what Mr. Peng said as an integrated design of this project. This project is owned by Jakarta Provincial Government, but the operator, the Integrasi Transit Jakarta or ITG, is undergoing structural institution right now. So the project will be curated more later on the next year. The second project is Ancol Eco Park, which consists of three main projects, which held by PT Jaya Ancol in North Jakarta, that combine three areas that cover water as front design. The financial metrics are still on the research right now. We will be finished maybe on the next year. The third project is Sunter Promenade. This asset is projected as sports and MICE retail that have a lake like Sunter as its fronts that combines apartment, hotel, sports hub, and water sport area, and also MICE retail. The fourth is Ancol Jaya Hotel, which located at the front of the sea in Ancol, North Jakarta. And the last is Jakarta River City in Cawang that projected to be built maybe in 2028, which also has blue green and the river Ciliwung as its front of the design. So all of our projects right now also includes hydro-urbanism or water as its front design. That proves that Jakarta Provincial Government also try to not fight the water, but really try to blend in our design right now. So in Jakarta Investment Center, we like to introduce you all to all of the regional own enterprise project that we promote, the project that will we need you all as the investor or the collaborator that I have presented later on, like the Sunter Promenade, the number 17, etc., etc. And also we have transportation, mixed use, commercial, industrial, and logistic, and also waterfront township that we presented later on, and at the East Ancol. So we will promote those all of 37 projects, which almost value almost 7 billion in dollar or 115 trillion rupiah at the Jakarta Investment Festival 2026, which will be held at 27 or 28 and 28 of August in Shangri-La Hotel. You can see all of the details and the financial metric, etc. at the project owner, project operator, etc. at the QR code at the left below. We have held this event from 2021. We try to we try to build the Jakarta city's image to make a resilient city, to become a global city, which had today this year. This year we will have three institutions will be held at Shangri-La Hotel from financial institution, research institution, and also from our government institution will be collaborating together to promote Jakarta investment project. At the end of the presentation, I'd like to introduce our agency, our Jakarta Investment Promotion Agency from Jakarta Investment Center, which consists of three main units. I myself am from the Investment Promotion Unit. There are also Research and Promotion Unit and Investment Facilitation Unit to make or to facilitate the investor or collaborator to guide you through our licensing process, to introduce to our project owners, and etc. I think I would like to thank you for CVU to and at America for this kesempatan ya, untuk memaparkan or present this project from Jakarta Provincial Government, which also think that water is the urban asset, a very important urban asset that we will blend in our design to make a better city and to increase our city value. I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Imam Satria, and please round of applause for Pak Imam Satria. Thank you, Pak. So tell your family, tell your colleague, tell your friends, invest in Jakarta. because we need so many public parks, right, Pak Imam?
Yep.
But in my 15 years live in Jakarta, I think Jakarta keeps getting better and better. Do you agree, Pak Imam?
Couldn't agree more.
And
Very agree.
where your favorite public parks in Jakarta, Pak?
My favorite public parks are in near President, Vice President Taman Surapati.
Taman Suropati.
Parks.
Okay, and Menteng.
Yeah,
Oh,
Menteng.
okay. That's nice. Tebet Eco Park? That's water infrastructure, I think.
Yes, there are also public water infrastructure as well. But
Okay.
I think if we look at the better picture, if we Taman Bendera Pusaka
Yeah, Taman Bendera Pusaka in Barito, right?
in Barito.
Okay.
It's more urban water.
Oh,
waterfront.
okay. That's really
Waterfront.
keeps getting better and better, and I think you should visit some of the newest public park in Jakarta. Lately, Jakarta have so many destination which can be visited by us, and I would like to wait for another one, Pak Imam. Don't stop in just one or two parks, okay, Pak? Okay, because the third speaker will be your collaborators, Pak. Maybe the next projects will be involving you, Pak Frans Surjadi. So let us welcome Pak Frans Surjadi.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for inviting us from Astra Property. So as a background, probably I came from the private sector who very short experience during for developer. We just about 10 years ago to establish Astra Property as a part of the Astra Group in the project. So I'll come from our background. As a conglomerate in Indonesia, I think we need to put our state to promote our position. What is Astra? Astra Property actually not really detached from the headquarters as a group. So Astra Property have three leading business, commercial, residential, and also modern warehouse. This project, we very, some of the public consultant partners saying very aggressive. But again, I think compared to other developer, we are just very slow. So we are, when we doing this kind of project, when we enter the project, we are very concerned about many things. So again, we need to have a triple P strategy, means also portfolio, means when we enter the project, when we enter the business, we are able to do the sustainability, resilience business. The business itself should be long-term. Secondly, people. We are very concerned about the people. We are Astra sometimes quite known as a school for the people. Yeah. And the third one is public contribution, which everything that we do also have philosophy in Catur Dharma. This one, this Catur Dharma actually the same like Pancasila. The founder create this, and also until now we live and also do the business based on the Catur Dharma. This is Astra 2030 Sustainability Aspiration Framework. So in every single business, Astra business, there's always follow this direction. So we need to do the greenhouse gases emission, reduce energy management, water, solid waste diverted, employee health and safety, and also community. So all of this will be measured put on the KPI in every single business unit. And Astra Property do the interpretation in every environment matters. We do that. And that's also part of the reduced greenhouse gas emission, and also the water, waste, safety, and also the community itself. So specifically into the building that we have, today we share with you the Menara Astra and also Arumaya Financial Center. They just finished this year, which actually how we do the interpretation from the framework itself into the operational, into design, and how we also provide and maintain this target into our goals. Yeah, like waterways recycling, 88% of waterways recycle or to cooling tower, and this one also part of our what we call kind of obligation in our business to manage all the things, the waste and also energy. And also the Arumaya, we did the same as Menara Astra. So whatever we do in the project on the building, actually we just copy everything that become a standard. So this is water management and conservation that we have. We really rainwater harvesting, municipal by supply intake and system. This is what we do, all the building, and water usage and water discharge. And one of the things that we have here, actually also how we collect and also reuse water ground from the building itself. So all of this system apply in our building, and also we do reuse. Then also we, at the end, if we, in our calculation of ESG system, it's not about the way we only reuse the waste itself, but how this reuse to convert it into the commercial, how much saving that we have. So in every year we try to get the target to get the saving from the commercial point of view. These are some of the things that we do in Menara Astra and Arumaya. And this what we have. All of this technology, we depend on the bus system, green building, and as of per now, this year we also explore to get the super low energy building, which in Singapore is already common. Probably in Indonesia, Jakarta just started, and by this year, hopefully we can achieve the super low energy building. This one probably the same like Pak Imam. If we good at our building, I think it's not something to be proud of. Yeah, it's only ourselves. But 2022-23, we have opportunity to get involved on the government project in Taman Tebet. We founded the project, and again, this is what Pak Imam said about the green and also the blue concept design that happening on the Taman Tebet. We are very proud to be part of this project, and also one of the success project that I think Dinas Taman also get the award from Singapore. And I think that one, every drop we value today become foundation of more resilient tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Pak Frans Surjadi, for the presentation, Pak. Truly remarkable property, Pak. As a new developer, I think you have a very, very prestigious assets, Pak, in Menara Astra and also Arumaya. Yeah. Do you learn a lot, Pak, from how you built Menara Astra?
Oh, yeah. I think Menara Astra started in 2012. That time, Astra is very green on the in property, in building. So everything we do in the design on the Menara Astra actually very copy paste from the Singapore standard. So again, I was involved on that time. Why we need to go Singapore standard? Because everything, if you want to build one time, why you do half-half? You go forward ahead.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's because Astra,
Yeah.
we want to make a statement that
Yeah.
should be the best for us,
Yeah.
for Jakarta as well.
And with all the efforts, is the performance, the building performance, is satisfy you, Pak?
Yes, yes. Again, every year very challenging for us because our KPI is not measured by this year target, but next year will be much better again. And the way we calculate everything, this ESG energy will back to our headquarters, which I believe they do the calculation based on the commercial point of view,
Yeah.
the sustainability, and also the way they looking at now is actually renewable energy system. So getting hard and hard.
Okay, thank you, Pak Frans Surjadi. Again, a round of applause, Pak Frans Surjadi. So before we move on to the next presenter, I would like to remind you again, all of the floors, that maybe you can prepare your question because we will have a question and answer session after the presentation from our panelists. And for the next presentation, I would like to welcome you, Michael Wiener from Putra Gaya Wahana, to share your presentation. Please, a round of applause for Pak Michael.
Selamat.
Can?
Selamat sore?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Selamat sore, yeah. So I'm glad we're doing this in English. Sorry, my bahasa is minimal. I realize in seeing some of the presentations, I'm focusing more on the bigger picture. And my point is, we have the tallest building in the Southern Hemisphere, but that wasn't our goal. Our goal, which was honored by CVU last year, was really great, but that really wasn't the point of building this. The point of building this was to create something that transformed Jakarta as a more resilient, more livable city. And water is part of that, but from our point of view, it's not the only part. So we want to show you how we integrate all these things in a way that makes Thamrin 9 a destination for people. We know Jakarta's got problems. We know Jakarta's got lots of opportunities. We wanted to try to focus on what could we do that enhance those opportunities and tried to mitigate some of those things. We knew, and as you saw from some of the presentations before, that we can't just bring solutions from Singapore. You know, it's really easy to just drop a solution from Singapore or China, or to try to make it look like New York or something, to use strategies that you saw in other places, but they're not going to work here because Jakarta is Jakarta and it has its unique historical development that doesn't allow it to just cut and paste. It had to be something that reflected both the physical location and manifestation of the city, but also the way people live here in Indonesia. It's a little bit different. And we had to address some of the very unique issues here in Indonesia that we all struggle with day to day. And ideally, we would sort of improve the quality of life around all those things. So what we did was we looked at the context. We said, what happened to Jakarta? Where did we take that wrong turn? And how can we maybe get ourselves back on the right path here? And we thought, what could we do to strengthen some of the things that made Jakarta more distinctive and more appealing, maybe going back a few years? And one of the things we thought about was, well, did we take a wrong turn when we emphasize these kind of multi-use, mixed-use projects that tend to become very car-dependent, very insulated from the city, and very cut off, and tend not to create a city, but create these little islands and pockets? And one of the things that we wanted to do was to open up the project and make it more integrated into the city, so that people felt that it could be part of their day and part of their world and not just this little island. And in doing so, we had to address some of the unique qualities of Jakarta that make that harder to do. And the way we did it was we thought, well, if we could integrate things in one place and make it the kind of thing that people wanted to visit and spend time in, that would help to mitigate some of the problems and some of the frustrations of living in Jakarta and make it a little bit more like Singapore or a little bit more like New York City, but not exactly like either of those places. And we wanted to improve the environment that we found around us, specifically our particular location, which is right next to the Chilawang River. So we've got some of those major reservoirs and things right next to us, and so they're not fantastic. And we also wanted to create something that created the sense of excitement and identity in the minds of travelers. We wanted sort of to be the Guggenheim or the Burj Khalifa that made people say, I want to go there. And so that's what Thamrin 9 came from. We wanted to create this place that was both for Jakartans but also for international travelers. It was a place where we could change the way people live, work, and play in the city and make it a more modern, more livable, more desirable city, and provide a model for people. So the question is, how would you do something like that here in this city? And these are just some of the strategies that we use, and some of them are water and some of them are not water. So it's more about the bigger ideas here. And I think a lot of you are architects, and so the traditional idea of connectivity has always been the horizontal connectivity, which leads to the sprawl and the congestion of Jakarta. And it's a model that is great on paper in theory, but it actually kind of falls apart when you try to apply it to a mega city of 42 million people. So the traditional exposure or response to that has always been to layer things. Oh, I'm just going to take my city and layer it like this, and that'll just densify things and make it more usable. But in fact, that doesn't work either. So our idea was just take that whole thing and turn it up like this, and make that vertical layering literally a vertical city, and try to create that density and create that integration in one place, and reduce the footprint, reduce the congestion, reduce the amount of travel time, and really treat the site in a way that we could defend it and make it part of the city without consuming a lot of land for automobile circulation. And to open it up in a way that allowed people to come in and use it. And so part of that was to focus on the ground plane and people. And how do you manage the ground plane and how do you manage the water so that that whole ground plane does become usable? We also wanted to weave the public realm into the city, of the city into the building. And I know a lot of places here, it sort of feels like a little bit of a fortress. We wanted to bring people up into the building and allow them to get around and use those public spaces. And again, to make it feel like it's part of their daily life and they don't have to get in the car and drive everywhere. We wanted to make a hub for activities. These are actual shots of what's happening in our project. If you haven't been there, it's a really incredible, exciting place. It's a kind of place where you can spend the day, you can come, you can spend a whole week if you want, you can live there, you can play there, you can educate your kids there, you can go to see the doctor there, you can go to a musical performance there. It's the kind of thing that you would say, oh, I could live like that in Singapore, I could live like that in New York or London, but in fact, it's harder to do it here. We're trying to make it usable here. But at the same time, we wanted to say, well, okay, all those things are great, but how do we make it actually work here in Jakarta with some of the challenges that we've got? And what I wanted to show you next is, it's coming. I had these times, so they're a little bit delayed on each slide, but these are some of the things that are happening at our complex. And the water part, which is obviously the focus of today, we didn't want that to be the overwhelming thing. That's not the driver of our project. You know, it's not built for that. It is built for MRT connections. So one of the big moves was to reduce the private automobile trips to and from and around by using the MRT connection. So far we're the only MRT connected complex in the city. We also wanted to create spaces that are reflective of how people actually work today. I think pre-pandemic versus post-pandemic, we've changed a lot about how we actually use work and how we go and go about our process of working. And we wanted to create a MICE center that would allow the kind of activities and hubs that would typically go to a place like Singapore to be able to be hosted here in Jakarta. As I said, that vertical connectivity happened through a lot of advanced vertical transportation. You saw the quantity of lifts and escalators, and we wanted to create that public realm that brought people up into the complex and gave you the sense of a city view and a city experience that you've never had before. So all these things are fantastic. How is the water integrated into that? As I said, we didn't want the water to be the main focus or to overwhelm the design or the operational aspects of the site. And so I'm going to show you some of the strategies that we use, which are a little bit, I think Frans touched on them in his project. I didn't put them in here because I thought, oh, it's so obvious, people won't have to be told. But in fact, I probably should have told you. Some things we used, the old tropical ideas of sun shading and temperature control. There wasn't a lot of water aspects back then, but we did things like the sensitivity of the automatic faucets and flushing and low water usage. But we also wanted to do things that were a little bit more sophisticated than that and maybe were not tested. And so what you're going to see are some of our ideas here that integrated into the project. This is a site plan of about a quarter of the site, and what you see here, if you can read it, it's a retention ponds and infiltration wells. So the whole site is ringed with these things, which are these wells or these gigantic ponds of a huge capacity underground that act as a cistern that collect the water and hold it during a rainstorm so that we don't discharge back into the city drains. What you're going to see coming up is another really interesting aspect of our project, which is called a bioorganic treatment plant. So we take all the wastewater, all the sewage water on site, and we bring it into this really innovative, it's actually a Dutch company provided the technology, which uses a bio system to digest the sewage and create gray water, and then plants live in that gray water and help to treat it even further, and eventually it returns relatively clean water that we use for irrigation and cooling towers. So there were a lot of interesting things that we did that aren't necessarily apparent in a fairly obvious way, but they help to enhance the site and make it the kind of place that people would want to come to and really transform the city in a way that we think shows a way forward for development in Jakarta. So as I said at the beginning, our goal wasn't to build the tallest building, it was to help transform the city. Thanks.
Thanks for Michael Wiener. Such a very, very flowing presentation. That was fast, Mike. Okay, but if you want me to choose between Menara Astra and Thamrin 9, I don't know. What do you choose, Flores? I think I like it both because it's such a pleasure to see Jakarta have so many landmarks right now. Maybe Professor Peng also can see that. We have so many skyscrapers with each characters. It's very, very bold. And I want to ask you, how many years to build Thamrin 9 complex, Michael?
The design the idea started probably 30 years ago in assembling the site. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, assembling the site is complicated here, as you know. Getting the land of a scale that you could build something like that takes a long time. The design began probably back in about 2012. The actual excavation began in about 2013. It took about 2 years to excavate, actually maybe a little bit more because the entire site is excavated. We actually go down 6 basements. So there's six basements below all this, plus then there are pilings that go down another 60 to 80 meters. So all that management that you saw, all those retention ponds, all those infiltration wells, all that stuff is sitting on top of structure, which is sitting on top of mud. I mean, we know that Jakarta has pretty terrible soil.
Yeah.
So a lot of this was how do you integrate these things that help with the water management strategies in a soil that's really not, frankly, built to hold or carry these kinds of things. So all these things. These piles are sitting on a raft. The raft is supporting 6 levels of basement, and then you get the water management. And all the water management flows on the top surface. Nothing goes down through the project itself. It all goes out to the perimeter. So it took a long time to build, and I think people were wondering what's going on there because you saw this giant hole in the ground for probably 3 or 4 years before you actually saw any superstructure.
So do you enjoy it, or it stress you out?
Some days, yeah. I mean, some days are great, some days are not so great. I think as architects or planners or managers in the room can attest, it's sometimes hard to remember what a great project you're working on when you're in the heat of the moment when things are going terribly wrong.
Yeah.
But it's always good to sort of step back and lift your head up and think, yeah, this is an amazing project and it is transformative for the city. And of course there are going to be challenges, and of course we're going to hit roadblocks, and of course people have never done things this way. So it's to be expected that they're going to be confused or go in the wrong direction sometimes. And so part of my job, I think, as a design director is to help pull people back to the big idea and say, what are we trying to achieve here? We're trying to build a project that really points a way forward for Jakarta in a way that we integrate all these things like energy strategy, like water management, like MRT and TOD design, that pulls it together into a thing that feels natural and intuitive and seamless and attractive. So yeah, on the best days, that's what it's like.
That's an incredible answer, Michael. So a round of applause for our panelists here today. Thank you for the incredible presentations from Dr. Pengdu, from Pak Imam, Pak Frans, and also from Michael. And I would like to invite you all to share your maybe not share yet, to ask your question. If you want to ask some question, we will open the Q&A session for maybe we have 30 minutes. So I would like to list the, okay, one here, two, three, four, maybe one from here first. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 question first for our first session. Okay, please tell me your name and your affiliation, and then your question.
What kind of affiliation? Should I talk about?
I don't know, where do you work? Or maybe what's your profession?
All right, okay. Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Jefferson. I'm from the developer, of course, and basically I was an architect. And I want to ask about Dr. Peng actually.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So you said about water resilient, right? And you research about a water in the onshore, right? What about offshore? So in Jakarta, there's a, what do you call it? Jakarta Bay, and there's a project we call NCICD, National Capital Integrated Coastal Development. And their idea was they make a embankment in the Bay of Jakarta and make it a reclamation works over there. It's kind of like in Dutch, what Dutch did in the Netherlands, of course. And I want to ask, is it going to work? Is it going to work if we put reclamation over there? And is it really big issue like 9 years ago? Is it going to, it's big issue actually. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I'm less familiar with the projects you mentioned, but you mentioned the offshore is important because I use the example of my design studio projects based in Philadelphia. So the downtown area of Philadelphia is also not, immediately on the sea front. It's an inner land, but there's stormwater. There's other things you have to consider. So what we did was we did a simulation, did a control analysis, and did the run the simulation to see if there's rain, if there's a water come through, where the water will go, and you get an understanding of the water movement, and then, for example, also the different infrastructures like highways and other places. Are there parks adjacent? Those areas can really absorb some water. So those analysis, what we did to help understand where the water can flow, even though it's not on the seafront, riverfront. Sorry, I just not very familiar with the projects you mentioned 9 years ago. But again, I think the challenge of the water is not just on the front, and also inner land. When there's a higher chance you get a large volume of water through the storm water and other formats of the water, the city still needs to think how you can deal with that water.
Yeah. Devon, is it answer your question? Do you want to continue your question? It's okay. Or maybe I ask you a question, because as a citizens of Jakarta, same as you, do you think it will work? Not sure. But do you have? Okay. Yeah. Maybe you can the microphone for Devon, Pak. Because I would like to make this interactive, and we can exchange our insights, we can exchange our knowledge. So it's better for you to maybe share.
So the idea was they put all of our from waters from the south, which is from, I would say, mountain, right?
Yeah.
And they put it on the north side. So the Bay of Jakarta usually was sea and turned into like kind of big lake.
Yeah.
So they put it giant water, fresh water, and it will be like, what do you call it? Water supply for the citizen of Jakarta, actually.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's what they told.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
But
Because in Jakarta, where the land is sinking a few
yeah, of course.
centimeters each year, right?
Sorry?
Jakarta is sinking a few centimeters each year, right?
Yeah. That's
And
why.
developers.
Can I
Yeah,
add something?
of course,
So
gladly.
on our project, I mean, we're aware of the issue of subsidence, right? Which is, I think, what you're talking about. I'm not sure what I mean. I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure it's applicable, but I do think part of the problem here is the subsidence of the land, which comes from the over extraction of groundwater, which is what's been happening in Jakarta for many years. And so it's a little bit like a sponge. When you take that water out, the land compresses and it goes down. So you have the seawater rising, the sea level rising, and you have the land subsiding. One of the things that we've done is with our retention pond and infiltration wells, they help to recharge the groundwater. So we're treating the water and putting it back into the ground. So we're doing our best, at least in our local neighborhood, to try to keep the groundwater pressure high enough that it's keeping the land more or less locally where we are from subsiding at the same rate that other parts of the city have been subsiding at. And I think it's typically an issue up in the northern part of the city, which is the older part of the city, I think, where there are a lot of private wells and things where water has been extracted probably beyond what is reasonable or advisable.
Okay. Thank you, Michael, for your answer. And thank you, Devon, for the question. And maybe I'll move on to the next question from you, please. The lady here.
Okay, first of all, thank you for all the panels, for all of the insight. So my name is Fatia. I'm currently a master student that focusing on sustainability. So my question is for Pak Imam actually. So Pak Imam, as you mentioned on your presentation, right now Jakarta has many investment projects in the pipeline. How does Jakarta Investment Center prioritize projects while balancing economic growth and sustainability? For example, I've visited Tebet Eco Park that made by Astra. So honestly, I'm very impressed by what Astra already did because it is so inclusive. And then we can see that Astra support for the park show how private investment can contribute to a greener and more resilient city. Are there any plans to encourage more investment with this kind of long-term environmental impact alongside commercial developments such as hotels, as you mentioned before on your presentations? As we know, people right now not only care about something fancy like hotels in the city, but also thinking about the future, like park and greener city. As we know, our LTH atau ruang terbuka hijau numbers is getting smaller these days. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatia. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Pak Imam.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you, Fatih, for the question. Maybe I would like to share with you our business process on promoting investment project in Jakarta. So first, we are promoting project from that come from two major institution. At first, it's the regional owned enterprise institution, which is our BUMD for short, like MITJ, Jakarta Propertindo, etc. And the second is from our internal institution from Pemprov Jakarta government. So we have, I think, a lot of regulation that propose that a building should have sustainable qualities, green qualities, etc. That I think make a building have to pass certain threshold for sustainability factor before be issued a license to build. Recently, there are also a government regulation about the limitation or the batasan for taking groundwater for tall buildings. I think that's how our government provide sustainable design, and also which project to be prioritized. We also from our internal institution have a research unit with also provide an analysis for this sustainability factor. I think that's my answer.
Okay, Pak Imam,
Mas
thank
Agie.
you. Thank you, Fatih. Is it answer your question? Okay, thank you. Pak Imam, so in GIC, the project is all about public facilities or maybe also commercial facilities that you can do?
Both. I think
Both. Okay.
it's from both.
So if we see Tebet Eco Park, is there any commercial facilities in there, Pak?
Maybe we will project a few
Okay.
commercial facilities in the next tahun ke depan ya.
Okay. So is there any like inclusivity, is that important part of your project in GIC? Inclusivity for all of the people from maybe let's say Jakarta citizen, because what Fatia asked is many people in Jakarta needs a new public parks, the green area. Is there any element from there that will be crucial for your future project?
Yeah, I think as I presented before, Jakarta is expanding its green and blue projects in Jakarta. For example, there is a Prapanca Park that I have present before, but is in the lagi di hold gitu ya. Because kan BUMD as the project ownernya lagi di restrukturisasi, being restructurized. So we cannot promote those said investment project because the metrics are being reevaluated.
Okay. So increasing the number of the green area in Jakarta, is that
Still
part of your agenda?
Yep.
Yep.
Provincial government agenda.
So that's okay. You want to continue?
Okay, just to make sure, Pak Imam, the green, as you mentioned before, the government effort to maintain the sustainability in Jakarta buildings, it is related to green building certification that we can see all over SRBD right now. Is that like that?
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything else other than certifications?
Other than certification, you mean that the government will assure something that make the project sustainable, or
Yeah.
We, the provincial government, as a regulator can only reach in that area, because if we terlalu dalam ya membatasi atau melingkupi projects, it will be bad on the designer, etc. Because they will have many threshold to many constraints to design. I think what we concern right now is the power intake, water intake, etc. That have already concluded on the green certificate. I think that's my answer.
I see. Okay, thank you, Pak.
Thank you, Fatia, for the question. Okay, Pak Imam, thank you. Maybe I will ask to another panelist to comment on this issue about the greener or the bluer Jakarta. Do you have any maybe vision about Jakarta in the future? How we make it better and better in terms of blue and green infrastructure? Maybe, Pak Frans?
Okay, just a bit share. I think when you're asking about what is the blue and green program from the government, I think they have a lot. Trust me, there are a lot. And us as Astra Property also get involved on the Taman Barito actually in the first place. We've been offered from Dinas PU. Okay, can we get your involvement on the drainage and water system on the existing condition? For some reason, we not going involved on that project, but later on, we are get over by Pemda, either from governor office, either from Dinas. They mentioning a few projects that as a private sector can involve. So actually it's depend on the way the private and also the government can match each other. Our project in Taman Tebet 2022, actually that time is a COVID period. So everyone at home, everyone limited access and etc. But I think the good thing about that project actually, Kepala Dinas, governor, and also from private sector have the same spirit to finish that project. So design, etc., construction, etc., financial, at the end, it's done. But it's very difficult. I was involved myself on that project. Pak Anton Siura, Pak Ibu Dinas involved directly. But the point is, when these three parties get involved and get the, make it done, it will done. But again, when you ask what is the next project on the green and the blue, ourselves have one obligation to finish one blue project. We are about to doing by today, but not finished. But again, from our private sector, administration things, study, recommendation from dinas here, dinas there, it take a lot of time. So we are still doing it ourselves.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Frans. So the project in Jakarta, if you want it to make it good, it needs a lot of effort from all the parties involved, ya, Pak? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Fatia, for the question. And so we will move to the next question. And maybe Ibu in the front. Okay.
Hello everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Retno. I'm now manager design China construction Indonesian branch. I have two questions, each one for Dr. Peng and the other one is for Mr. Imam. The first one is for Dr. Peng. Actually, Dr. Peng, is very interesting that you give insight for us this afternoon. And the one I want to ask is about like this. If we talk about Jakarta, we cannot talk about just Jakarta, but the other city surrounding Jakarta, like Bogor. Bogor is the city we know as a water reservoir. Jakarta stands into a good city with water because of Bogor. Have you ever read about Bogor? Sorry, it's the city next to Jakarta that there are so many green jungles that make a water reservoir. So the government in Bogor has a regulation for make buildings not to reduce the water to Jakarta. My question is, in Bogor there is a water fountain, jungle, river, rainforest, raining. That is very important for the water to Jakarta. So what is your insight? You haven't mentioned about the water reservoir that's hold on Jakarta. Because right now, China Construction have a huge project in Bogor, Sentul. Is a 170 hectares area, mixed-use development. We will build the exhibition hall, the biggest mosque in Indonesia, and also apartment and hotels. And the master plan also designed with Pak Tio team, PDW consultant. And that's my first question. And the second one, I want to ask Mr. Imam. Mr. Imam, actually in Zurich, Switzerland, I have read the book called Water as a Lifestyle. Do you know water as a lifestyle? Is water not just for our need, but as a lifestyle. If you have read in Zurich, there is a river named Ara River. Now our river is very, very clean, not just for drink or for just the river, but also for the lifestyle, like people going back to office, to their home by swimming. Can you imagine that? We can swim, and I see the real thing. The, the people after work hour, they pack their belongings into the waterproof bags, and then they just swim in the river, and then came to the home. That's my question to you. And also we know as a Netherlands is the best city with water management system in the world. Yeah. And then I want to ask, is so many, so long time, Jakarta, 30 years, changing the government, changing the policy. So when we can have those kind of things in Jakarta? Because we have river, we have, but your policy doesn't work. Yes. That's the first question. The second question is so many river in the world, like in Seoul, in Istanbul, in Switzerland. The river is very, very good for lifestyle, not just for drink system or for the lifestyle. I talk about the lifestyle. So what is your plan? Your plan for the future? That's the second. Okay, thank you so much.
So let us answer.
Yes.
Maybe from Professor Peng about water reservoir in Bogor.
Yeah, thank you for your very thoughtful question. So again, I'm less familiar with Bogor, but that's reminded me immediately about a research by a MIT professor on the potential water rise for New York, Manhattan. You all know Manhattan. So about 10 years ago, BIG, Biakingo's group, New York office, they won a big project sponsored by U.S. government's housing development office, something like that. So it's a multi-billion project. So they proposed a big U. You might be familiar with this as architecture professionals or students. So what the idea was, the Manhattan, right? So they set an infrastructure like a big U, a U shape, which can adapt with water. When the water rises, they might have a green space as a green corridor to mitigate the water. And also, when the water is not that high, the level is not that high, that can be a social space, right? People can gather for entertainment, for sports, etc. This is was a very famous project, and you might see this everywhere. But in the meantime, at the same time, a professor from MIT challenged that idea. So yes, the big U definitely would help, but that's not going to fundamentally address the issue, right? What that professor proposed was a similar idea like you just described. So there's a beautiful nature in New Jersey, which is a state adjacent to New York City. What that professor proposed is that you need to repair the ecosystem of New Jersey rather than just build an infrastructure to directly address the water as a threat. So I think those two approaches, I think would work. Maybe more research needs to be done in certain scenarios. We need to think, okay, how we can immediately stop water? How can we immediately create the space for people adapt with water, or as a lifestyle, as you mentioned. But in the meantime, what can we do to fundamentally address the water as a threat, but also repair our ecosystem? So I don't know the answer. The people have different views based on their expertise, based on the research. But it's good to have this dialogue, right? So what would be the best approach? short-term, long-term.
Thank you, Professor Peng, for the answer. And I think because the time is tight, maybe Pak Imam, can you answer it with short answer about the future plan of Jakarta, Pak?
Okay. Okay, maybe we as the Jakarta province would like to see the river as you said in Zurich and South Korea, but we still don't know when it will become like that, because river management is complicated and it needs coordination across cities, across region, across province, and we are heading there. We are heading there. We are starting from the lakes first, maybe, and then the river. Our project in the Sunter Promenade also makes a lake or water as an urban entertainment, which will be make it closer to our goal to make a river in the city more cleaner and more better. I think that's my answer.
Hopefully in the near future, ya Pak ya.
Yep.
Thank you, Bu Retno, for the question. And maybe because the time is tight, I'm so sorry for all the in here. Maybe just one last question from. Okay, yeah, thank you. Please, the microphone. Oh, udah. Oh, nggak bisa. Oh, I'm so sorry because the time is tight. And so maybe I would like to close our discussion today. Thank you for all the panelists, Professor Peng, Pak Imam, Pak Frans, and so Pak Michael. It's truly a remarkable discussion with you all. And thank you for all of you who have joined us with us today. And maybe for the closing remarks, I would like to Mr. Peng to express the closing remarks about this. Thank you.
Thank you. I still need this. Thank you, everyone, for staying to that as late as now. I know everybody has busy schedule, and also thank all the speakers today for this insightful conversation. So I'd like to just spend a couple minutes to introduce further who we are, Council on Vertical Urbanism, and formerly called Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitats. So we are building on a legacy of CTBOH, Council on Vertical Urbanism, focusing on tall buildings. But we're also very excited about our next chapter, which is focused on more cities, how we can create a three-dimensional connected solution that support a more livable, healthier cities, especially in the face of rapid urbanization and the efforts of climate change, which is exactly the theme we discussed today. We are committed to build tall better. I'm very interested. I think the points Michael made. It took a long time to build such amazing tall buildings. So if we look at the history of tall buildings, there are very few tall buildings were demolished. So we're talking about the impact of tall buildings. We're not thinking about the lifespan of tall buildings for 50 years, 100 years. We think a tall building should last forever because it takes too much energy, too much money to tear down tall buildings. So we are committed to build a tall better, but collectively in the context of cities. So the four aspects we focus on: verticality, sustainability, livability, and innovation. So verticality is not just going tall on one dimension, but connected, multi-layers. Sustainability, of course, how we can create a city is more responsible and with nature and also regenerative. Livable, inclusive, enjoyable, biophilic. So those are the urban futures we believe we should build together. And innovation. So vertical cities or tall buildings, probably one of the very rare building type that we can really implement the innovation to the projects, how we can create a more incentive, resilient, flexible, and also holistic solutions for our future of cities. So CVU has the world's largest database of tall buildings. we generate such reports of completion of tall buildings every year. As you see, we have seen a tall building boom in the past several decades. No, actually, the number of tall buildings has been doubled since 2017. The huge growth, right? And also, we can also see the function of tall buildings has been shifted from all office tower. Now we see more mixed-use residential towers. So we operate across different regions, Asia, Europe, and Middle East, and Americas. And we are a membership-based nonprofit organization, headquartered based in Chicago. But we are also, like Pak Tiak mentioned, we are a multidisciplinary organization. You can see the members by profession. A quarter of members are actually owner-developers. And then architecture, engineering count for another 2 quarters. And the rest, so we are multidisciplinary organizations focused on the cities of the future. So our international conference this year will take place in London in October. But we're very excited about our Asia conference this year in Jakarta on December 8th to 10th, kindly hosted by Menara Astra and Autograph Tower. Just a brief recap of the last year's Asia conference in Mumbai, so you can get a sense what you could expect in Jakarta later this year. So in Mumbai last year, we had near 600 attendees from 26 countries, representing more than 250 companies. We had plenary sessions, keynote presentations, panel discussions, building tours, etc., etc. So Asia conference this year in Jakarta 2026 from 8th to 10th with a themed vertical futures in Asia, building resilient, livable, and connected cities. We hope you can join us. This is a program structure of the conference. We start with a first day core program at the Pan Pacific Hotel at Terminal 9. And the second day core program will be Menara Astra. And we're also going to have a offset tour on day 3. There will be a special VIP reception in Mitsubishi's Indonesia's new project. So finally, I'd like to end with a quote from Norman Foster: "Design for the present with an awareness of the past for a future which is essentially unknown." I hope we can always keep the curiosity and be passionate about the future, which we can build all together. So this is a QR code you can scan if you want to become a member of CVU. We have individual membership and corporate membership. For individual membership, I think we have an emerging market rate, which is a huge discount. I think for the Indonesia, you could get this discount. So please follow us on our LinkedIn account. We also have an Instagram account, and of course our website. So I'd like to thank you again, everyone, for attending this conference. Thank all the speakers to share your thoughts and experience. And a special thank to At America and CVU, our own chapter here. And as Tiok mentioned, this is chapter pretty young, but I would say CVU Indonesia chapter is one of the most active chapters in the world. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We look forward to see you again in Jakarta in December. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Peng, for the closing remarks. And that's bring us to the end of our session. Thank you all for the participation, and thank you for our phenomenal speakers here. And from me, I'm Agie Aditama. I would like to thank you all for joining us today, and I would like to MC. Please continue, and see you again. Stay safe, and please keep pushing our boundaries to urban design, especially in Jakarta, Indonesia, to make a better world. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Can we give another big round of applause to all of our speakers and also moderator for today? Yeah. And everyone, as we come to the end of today's session, I would like to extend our sincere thanks to, of course, our moderator and, of course, all of our speakers for today for sharing their valuable insights and perspective on creating more resilient and also sustainable cities. And, of course, thank you to everyone here joining us today and you who join us via online for being a participation on today's event. And we hope that today's discussion has given you fresh ideas and inspiration on how we can all contribute to creating smarter, more sustainable, and water resilient cities to help shape the cities of tomorrow. And everyone, after this, we will have a networking session at the exhibition area. This is an opportunity for you guys to get to know more each other and, of course, to continue talking about our topics for today. And lastly, to stay updated on our upcoming events, you guys can follow our social media platforms. We have at YouTube, Instagram, X, and Facebook at AT America, or visit us in our official website at www.atamerica.or.id to know more about our program. And with that, thank you so much for your participation on today's event. My name is Laura Fakira, and I will see you guys at the next At America event. Thank you, everyone.